Hello and welcome to the Speak to Lead podcast. Today I'm speaking to Jose, and we're going to have a conversation around communication and Jose's experience in developing his own communication skills, some of his challenges, and his experience in the Speak to Lead program. So welcome, Jose. It's great to talk to you. Uh,
Thank you,
to,
Joel.
yeah, I'd love to start the conversation out by getting your why it is that you joined this program in the first place. What's your experience been with communication, and why have you felt that you really want to improve those skills?
I feel like as humans, communication is very essential for us to be able to live a good life. Because at the end of the day, life is all about dealing with people. And if you can communicate with people, they can understand you better and you can understand them better. And that's what makes life enjoyable.
Why do you think that being able to understand each other is so important?
I believe that if you're able to understand each other, you're able to come into mutual respect and connection. Because if you understand the people's intention, then it's a lot easier to figure out what they want. And also it's easier for them to figure out what you want.
Uh,
So then you can help each other out with, your wants and see if you guys are matching or not. If not, move your own way. If you guys are matching, great, you've made a new friend.
Yeah, so true, so true. And have you had trouble with doing that in the past, with connecting with other people or figuring out what they want or communicating what you want?
Yes, certainly. That is why I've joined this program to speak to lead. Because I hope to be able to better connect with people and share more about myself, be more bold with how I'm sharing myself, and be more confident.
Have there been particular situations in the past where they were like, where you can think back and really point out that that was an area or a time where if you'd had better communication skills, you would have been able to create a different result? Maybe it was with work or a personal situation, whichever you feel comfortable talking about. Is there a time where you think back, you're like, yes, that's a time where I wish I was able to communicate more effectively?
I guess with my first relationship, I
Yeah.
have assumed a lot and I did not really ask her how she felt about things. And also I did not really listen to her. I thought I knew what she was saying to me, but I could have done a bit more work trying to unpack what she was trying to say. Because
Uh,
sometimes people would say one thing, but it's not actually what they're trying to say. So you have to go deeper and try to analyze what they're actually saying. I think that's
that's
very, very important.
Yeah, yeah, that's crucial. I think I don't know about you, but I find that that's something I see happening all the time, especially online. You know, when you're exchanging comments or typing or texts or whatever it is that we're so often reading what we want to read or hearing what we want to hear, and not really trying to understand, not trying to get an idea of what the other person's really trying to say. That's it's fascinating that you actually noticed that. And that's been a motivation for you to dive deeper into connection and communication.
Yes, certainly.
So I'm curious now that that's been an experience you've had in the past, and you're now working on developing, you know, skills. Because the Speak to Lead program, what's your experience of being with it so far? Is it focused on understanding other people, or is it focused on more communicating your own desires and thoughts clearly?
This program we've just recently started. So far, what I've noticed is we've only focused on the basics so far. And I actually appreciate that it's been set up that way because it's similar to scaffolding, right? You
Mm.
have to be able to build the foundations first before you can start moving into the more advanced stuff. So yeah, we've learned how to, like the different paces, intonation, that kind of stuff to be able to speak with variety and how to structure your sentences by a little bit. So it's mostly scaffolding for now, but I'm expecting this program to ramp up
Mm.
more to, to that higher level stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the foundations are, it's like anything, there's no point in trying to develop advanced skills if they're built on really shaky foundations. Like you say, you kind of need those solid foundations to understand the basics before you can really progress from there. I'm curious because, we've had a bit of a conversation before starting the podcast, and you've mentioned that you want to be able to disagree with someone while maintaining like a warm rapport. Why is that skill something that's so important to you?
Hmm. That's a good question. I think it's about um having that integrity, but with empathy. So it's about saying, hey, I see you, I respect you, but I don't see this the same way, but I still care about you. I think it's really, really powerful. It's a shift. And I believe that balance is sacred. So it's this bridge between authenticity and also compassion. And I feel like in a world that feels increasingly polarized, especially in America, where every agreement becomes a line in the sand, you have to be, either or.
Uh-huh.
And I think it takes a certain skill to be able to respond with warmth. It's almost it's
Yeah,
almost
so
a superpower in this world. Yeah.
I was literally just gonna say that. I was like, yeah, it's almost like a superpower to be able to navigate that, isn't it? Like to be able to say, like, I don't agree with you, but at the same time, like, let's not fight about it. Let's find a way to move the conversation forward. Is that obviously there's a lot of stuff happening around the world with disagreements and like you said, drawing a line in the sand. I love that expression. Is there experiences that you've had in your own, perhaps your own career, that have made you realize that learning that skill would be beneficial?
Yes, actually, when I first started my career, I won't name names because I don't want to cause any issues. But I was working with this person. We had different ideas on how to go about things, and I didn't have this skill at the time. I didn't have this thought at the time to lead with empathy because when I feel like at the time when I feel like I'm right, I have to, take over and win whatever that is. And I've burnt that bridge, and to this day I still regret doing that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. I think I'm also a victim of a victim. That's not the right term to use, but I've made those mistakes in the past as well, and also
Yeah.
find myself continuing to do that, especially online, because
Yep.
it's so easy to get into those disagreements where, like you put it, you're trying to win as opposed to trying to understand and come to an understanding with the other person. It's yeah, it's a really powerful skill to learn. I think it's I think if we all had that ability, then the vast majority of the problems that we're now seeing around the world wouldn't really be a problem.
Yeah, it would be really, really nice if we can. Yep.
Yeah, well, it's and the solution, I think, is to do what you're doing, which is to recognize that there are skills that we can learn to help improve our ability to connect with others, and then learn those skills. You've taken it on yourself now to be responsible for making sure a conversation goes in the right direction and that empathy is built and displayed. So so I think it's a great thing to be doing.
Yeah, thank you. It's difficult.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, absolutely,
uh, uh,
absolutely. It's but that's why most. I mean, I guess that's why most people don't really do it. But
right.
when you decide that you're not going to, you're going to do it despite the difficulty, that's when we see the real growth, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Hmm.
I'm curious. You've said that you've experienced moments, and I think a lot of us have moments of like high confidence and feeling like you're capable of great things, and then followed by more reserved periods. How has that affected your professional relationships, and how are you now navigating it?
So this one here, I've been doing a lot of reflection on this recently, and it's not just professional relationships, but also personal relationships. It's affected. Um, and honestly, being in a professional environment, it can sometimes feel like walking a tightrope between the two versions of myself. Um, there are days where I'm deeply connected with a project or someone on my team, and suddenly I light up. I'm speaking up in meetings. I'm active. I'm taking initiative. It's like I like the inner world I live in most of the time. I'm able to
Hmm.
step into the spotlight because I'm feeling really, really good inside. So it's easy to radiate that out, right? But also there are just days where I do the opposite. I retreat, not because I don't care. It's usually the opposite. I care so much that I need space to process everything.
Mm.
So for me, it takes a while to process things, especially if it's um, quite intense. I need to be able to, calm down, step out for a bit, and process that the unspoken tension or emotional overload from trying to stay on for too long, because it does get quite tiring for
Right.
me personally. Um, so this ebb and flow has definitely impacted my professional relationships and also personal relationships. Sometimes when people see the extroverted side, they get confused when I go quiet because
Mm.
they've only seen the extroverted side. And I've had colleagues ask, "Hey, is something wrong with you, or did something bad happen?" And it kind of hurts because, you know, in those quiet moments, I'm usually thinking more or less, and it's me trying to process my emotions. Like I'm not trying to be rude. It's
Yeah.
I'm just processing my emotions. Yeah.
I think that's probably also partly a result as we're expected these days to always be on, like you say, always be extroverted and show a certain side of us 24/7. And when you actually take time to process like you do, that can be uncomfortable for people because people, I think, struggle sometimes to sit in that discomfort or not even discomfort, but in that more reserved state and to process their whatever's going on. And so it's always kind of like trying to project the best. And yeah, it's challenging. How do you find, are you able to, with those colleagues, for example, or in your personal relationships, do you communicate what's going on for you and why you're that way or why you're taking that time?
It's hard, right? Especially in professional environment. You don't really want to come across as like weak or anything like that. It's hard to be vulnerable. So what I like or what I've started recently what I've started doing recently is to say, "Hey, look, I'm in a reflective space right now. I'm just trying to process things. I've got nothing against you. I just want to be in my own world." And I feel like that's helped a lot, being authentic, but also still, like being professional, like owning it up and saying, "Okay, I'll get back to you." if given the chance. Yeah.
So it's a great response. What are the reactions that you've been getting from colleagues? Have they kind of been able to acknowledge that, or?
Because I've just recently started doing it, like maybe like 2 months, 3 months ago. At the start, they were like, because I didn't used to communicate that way, so they were a bit shocked. But eventually, they got used to it, and I feel like it's helped because I'm able to explain to them that, hey, look, this is it. It's not you, it's me. So
Well, that's
yeah,
good. Yeah, I suppose there's always that adjustment period, isn't it? Like people
yeah,
are so used to seeing one version of you, one part of your identity, one mask, and then all of a
yeah,
sudden it's like, oh, there's more to this guy. Okay,
yeah.
how do I how do I interact with him?
Yup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's challenging, but it's cool to. I mean, it's nice to when you have those experiences and you go through that bit of discomfort that you're experiencing, like, okay, they're coming along now. They're adjusting to it as well, and it's not just
Mm,
something that's seen as completely bizarre. I
mm.
I can imagine also that maybe the fact that you are communicating in that way is allows them to potentially communicate in a similar way that they might need to, but haven't up until now.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you.
Ah. I want to get onto a subject which I think a lot of people, especially in their in business and their professional lives, struggle with, and will also be interested in, which is networking and networking events in particular. I've personally been in networking events before, and I've also really struggled to connect with other people there. And I know that you have said in the past that networking events are challenging for you because you find that like self promotion and selling yourself feels superficial. In your opinion, how do you think that authentic professionals can build meaningful connections? How do you walk that tightrope again between putting yourself out there, but also being real?
Hmm. I guess let's focus on the problem first, on why I see networking as problematic from my own eyes.
Hmm.
And it's a big one for me. It's very, very personal. I've been to quite a few, and I have, it's a harsh word, but I've never enjoyed it. And the reason is it feels very performative to me. Like everyone's handing out business cards with smiles, but it doesn't reach their eyes. And when you're someone who values depth and sincerity, that can be really, really draining. Um, but here's what I've learned. It's you, you don't have to focus on that part. I think you can focus about the authenticity. And I think it starts with intention, right? So whenever I walk into a room, whether virtual or in person, I remind myself, okay, I'm not here to sell myself. I'm here to see people, truly see them, listen, and ask questions from a place of real curiosity, and not trying to get anything. And that shifted everything for me. Well, I still don't find networking enjoyable, but hey, at least I'm doing my part. And yeah, you'd be surprised how many people are relieved to drop the mask when they sense you're being real with them. Like, the truth is, even in a uh, professional context, people crave connection that goes beyond, the superficial stuff. So I feel like if I'm leading with empathy, and when we're grounded in who we are and not who we think we need to be, we give others the permission to do the same. So I've learned to be more shed, that mask, so that I can hold space for people, and if they want to be authentic, you've got the space.
That's a beautiful approach. I think what you just shared there is so true. That everybody's pretending to some degree, and most people that end up in those events are in the same position as you are, which is they don't find them comfortable or natural, and sometimes all it takes is for somebody like yourself to show that it's okay to do things differently and to focus on dropping that mask and try and get to know the real person, and that's enough to encourage them to do the same. So it's it's a great approach to have. I had it's funny when you say that, because people that perhaps haven't done too much work on themselves or haven't been in those situations that often might think that the way to, and I see this online as well, in business, that people think that the way to get people to notice you is to sell your stuff, to kind of put yourself out there and be like, yeah, here's my business card, let's do business. And it's been my experience that the people that you remember and that you connect with are the people that are there genuinely to get to know you, isn't it?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
they want to understand who you are, and they're not there under some thin guise of caring, but really they're just waiting to promote their own stuff. So it's
Yep.
what you're describing, what you're doing, I think, is actually not only more comfortable for you, but also much more effective in building connection with other people. Because, like you say, we're all humans and we all crave that connection. Have you had any experiences, now that you've been trying that a little bit recently? Have you had any experiences that have affirmed that what you're doing is having a positive impact?
I want to go first with the bad experiences because it's
Oh yeah,
pretty
go for
hilarious.
it.
So when I've started doing this, some people they get scared because they don't know what to do with the vulnerability, and they just they look at you like you're crazy because everyone there is smiling, and I'm just like neutral. And it really takes them off guard, some people. And it happens. You do have those kind of people, and I don't judge them. It's we all have our own paths. But for the people who do connect with me, the connection's a lot stronger because you're both connecting as human beings. And yeah, pros and cons, right? But I'd take the pro any day.
Yeah, I guess it's whether you want lots of really weak connection and where probably nothing's going to happen, or do you want just one or two real authentic connections where 6 months down the line you're still thinking like, oh yeah, there's that person that I met at the networking event, and oh, they do this and this, maybe now maybe we can do business together.
Hmm.
Speaking of 6 months down the line, you're in this program, the Speak to Lead program, and you're starting to apply all of this, the teachings that Ben is giving you guys. If this journey goes well, how will people experience you 6 months down the line differently in meetings or conversations or networking? What do you think the shift, the change is going to be?
I imagine people will be people will feel more seen by my eyes. Like not just heard, but genuinely witness. I see you. So as if their words land in a space where they're safe to unfold and not just rush to impress. It's actual connection, grounded, based in a reality. It's a quiet confidence. Is what I'm trying to achieve. And I guess part of that on my side is being um to stop overthinking too much, less second guessing what I should have said, and more trusting that my presence is enough, and that my ideas will come with a little more courage, spoken not just when they're fully formed, but when they need to be shared. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, even now I'm I'm probably not being perfect, but that's okay. I'm learning, I'm trying, and I don't think we should be too hard on ourselves. Um, and yeah, just stop being so apologetic about our mistakes. And I'm probably doing a lot, but I'm forcing myself to not shrink back on those failures, but instead expand from them as okay, this is an opportunity to learn. And yeah, so I hope people will feel that. People will feel that they're seen and that they'll notice that I'm not trying so hard because I've started understanding myself better. And if I understand myself better, that gives people a better understanding of myself as well. Yep. So I guess part of it too is maybe the pacing of my words. I tend to speak quite fast, especially if if the thoughts are going too fast. So I want to be in a more I want my tone to be more calm and inviting so that I can foster a calm, safe space for people to to be seen. Yeah. So 6 months from now, if this journey goes well, I'll still be me, but a little braver, a little more present, a little more trusting, and I'm keen to connect with people in a more meaningful way. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
A beautiful answer. Well, I think, just from our conversations today, I I see that. I feel that actually. You have a very calm, authentic demeanor to you, and your ability to think about what you want to say and then bring that forward and to share that without chopping and changing between what you wanted to say and things. It comes across as very um, calm and collected. That's certainly my first impression here. So I think you're on the right track. Yeah, certainly. And I think it's that desire to create space, as you put it, for other people to be seen and heard is a beautiful one, and one that the world certainly needs more of. There's so many people out there who are fighting to be seen because but we're all fighting to be seen and nobody's doing the seeing.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and so I think it's a wonderful goal to have, or vision for where you'll be in 6 months. Beautiful. Before we wrap up, is there anything else that we haven't talked about today that you would really love to share? Any message you wanted to give to anybody out there who might be listening to this or watching this conversation? Anything else that comes to mind?
I guess just going back to your very first question with regards to why communication is so important to people. Um, I believe it's like just to tackle the stuff that we've talked about and reflected on. It's not about performing, and it's not about being eloquent all the time. It's about aligning the truth inside you and how you bring it out, and making enough space to receive someone else's truth too. And I think that's where the playground happens, in that uh, back and forth space, that exchange of humanity. So yeah, communication is the key to life, to connection, and when you master it, um, n- not with force, but with care and presence, I feel like life would become less of a struggle and more of an exploration. So yeah, a place to play, to create, and to feel. Life is a playground. Here you go.
Boom. What a great last message. Fantastic, Jose. That's beautiful.
Uh,
Well, yes, and to anybody else out there who resonates with that message, you know, feel free to sign up or to get in touch with Ben. The link for their Speak to Lead program is in the description. So if you want to find out more and work on your ability to connect and share your authentic self with others, then that's the place to go to find out more. Thank you once again, Jose. It's been a real pleasure to speak with you.
Likewise, Joel, you've been a great host.
Cheers. All right. Bye bye.
Cheers. Bye bye.